I'm Michelle Oliver here as your host with the Coaching Collective, and I am so delighted to be here today with Carrie Brett from Shot at Love, because today on a Friday afternoon, which is very casual and appropriate, we're going to talk about dating fatigue. I totally have dating fatigue. I have dating fatigue so much that I haven't dated for like a week. No, I'm kidding. What do we do about dating fatigue though, Carrie? Really seriously, what happens, like for me, and I don't know if other women are like this, but you get on a roll and you do it and you do it and you get all revved up and you're like, I'm going to do it. And then you do it. And then it just is so much work. And then you get tired, and it really is dating fatigue. It's like a lot of energy and effort without the results that you want.
Right.
Equals, I'm tired. I'll never do it again.
Right. You should have seen me when I went back to the gym for the first time. That was that was painful. And when you start something new and you have a goal and you get your ass kicked, it's not fun. And it's not fun to get all dressed up and be all excited and get ghosted or not have a date go well. And it's really easy to throw in the towel. And guess what? The number one thing that people do when they hit that dating fatigue is they quit. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what, you cannot quit. You just can't. And if you quit, then I always say, like, your ex wins or that person who ghosted you wins. Like, you have to fight even in your darkest hours to stay with it. And if you stay with it, you'll have results. And it's as simple as that. Don't take yourself out of the game.
Well, so it's so much about attitude, right? So Carrie Brett, Shot at Love podcast and dating coach. This is who we are talking to today, who has not only advised and educated and supported and coached many, many women in this area, but she also is like a major success story. So I know you've been through this yourself. How do you do, like, we build memories of, oh, it wasn't worth it. Like, it's different when you go to the gym because maybe you get results after a while, right? But dating, you're kind of building up some, I remember when experiences that you really don't necessarily want to remember.
No, you have those I remember when moments at the gym though. Like, I remember when it was this size or whatever. But I think
yeah, that's true. I guess
I think it is very similar to going to the gym, and I think it's a process. And I think as you put time and effort into something, you start to change as a person. Whether it's exterior wise, but something happens to you in the process of any endeavor that's worth doing. You change and you learn not to take things so to heart.
So seriously. I think there is a huge element to just allowing it to be fun and not having huge expectations. Same with the gym. Like, if you go and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this in the way that is the most fun for me, then you're like, you take a yoga class or a dance class, or you do something like, I'm playing pickleball now. That's really fun. And it's a workout, instead of like, okay, if I don't lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks or whatever the thing is, like, you can't go assuming you're going to meet Prince Charming.
I think that letting go of expectations is the best thing you can do, honestly, because when you let go of that controlling nature and you kind of just go with it. And that's what I did to meet my boyfriend. I was unsure. I didn't know what end was up because I had been through so much. So I was hurt so much. I had so much disappointment. Why would I think that that date was going to be good? I didn't really. So instead of being so negative, I think the best thing for me to do that I did was not have any attachment to the outcome.
Okay, so how do you help women get to that place, or men for that matter? Because if you've been, it takes a lot of energy and time and effort to get dressed and go, and maybe, so do you recommend like more casual things, like where you just go on a walk, or you don't have so much invested? I think when you get dressed and everything, it's much more
Committed.
you have
Like,
more expectation. Like I've had those experiences where I was like, why did I bother for this?
I know, it's disheartening. And so I would do that. I would get my hair blown out and get a spray tan and hire a babysitter and go out and have a guy like insult me. And it
Oh.
would be like, this is not working. Something is not working here. So it was different when I was dating because people weren't as honest. They wouldn't put in the profile looking for a long-term relationship. They didn't put that in the profile. So I had a lot of people who wanted to just get out of the house. That was tough.
So
But
from the mindset perspective, what do you recommend when someone's just like, gosh, I don't really want to quit, but I just don't have the oomph in me. Like, I just don't know if I can try, like, why bother? That I think a lot of women get to that point where they're just like, oh, I'm just, like you said, fatigue. They're just burned out. How do you reignite when you're feeling that way?
well, for me, finding love was survival. So there wasn't going to be a day that I was going to quit,
Hmm.
no matter what. And because I'm a self-made entrepreneur, I knew what determination and hard work was.
Hmm.
And I knew I was prepared to do what most weren't. Does that make sense?
You were prepared to do what most won't do. Just
Right.
like in the world of entrepreneurship, you have, so you have a vision. I mean, this is like what I talk to people about all the time. You knew what you wanted,
Right.
right? So that's probably a big part of it. Like you got to believe.
You got to believe. That was huge. And I believed that I would find love. I did believe that because I do believe there's someone for everyone. But I don't think if you sit at home and expect the person to show up like an Amazon package, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Thank
It's
goodness they
not.
show up like Amazon packages. Ugh.
So you really have to move away from your own disappointment
Mm,
and your own dis I'm trying to think of the word, um, discontentment.
okay.
And if you move away from that sad storyline
Mm-hmm.
and you reframe it, you have a better feeling and that becomes an energetic and that becomes a reality.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Of course, you would tell only the truth about these things. But if you think about it, if you flip the script on that, why would we think that, okay, like going out on 10 dates, let's say, can feel exhausting? Like that's a huge amount of time and commitment and everything, right? And yet, why would we think that would even be enough. Like, who measures? Like, how, do you know what I'm saying? Like, where do we decide, oh, it's time to quit,
Right.
or that was too much effort or too much time? Right. So I think maybe we give ourselves these arbitrary timelines or what we think we can handle, and it doesn't even make sense. Like you use the word discontent, right? So it's like every time something happens, we're just saying, well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work. Well, that did. And we don't even register that as us being negative.
Yeah. I think it's, again, back to that. Are we holding on to the outcome? Or are we having fun and being present in the moment?
Yeah.
And did we go and make a really cool shot through the window overlooking the Boston Common? Like, did we get inspired by our surrounding? Did we run into somebody we hadn't seen for a while? Did we have a burger and a martini at a gorgeous bar top? Like, what were the positives? And I think we rush through life and hurry up, let's go, swipe to the next, that people aren't even present on the date. That they're so ready to talk that they're not even asking questions to really get to know someone on a genuine level.
To really get to know someone on a genuine level.
So if you look at a date like, wow, I could have a new friend, a new business contact, someone who can teach me something about something I could potentially be interested in. Hey, I'm getting a free dinner, a couple of drinks, got out of my own tortured head for a couple of hours. I mean, there's other ways of looking at it.
I think we're going to hold on to this and got out of my own tortured head for an hour. That's such a powerful phrase. Unfortunately, I would never relate to that, but every other woman in the world relates to that understanding. That is so powerful. Yeah, it's like you are describing the journey that Amazon package took, instead of like, I ordered and it showed up and I didn't like it, right? It's
Right.
like, why did I want that? And what was the process in ordering it, and how did they make it, and who, the whole thing. So I really like the way you shared that.
And I think we learned that during COVID, like, we weren't able to go to restaurants or bars. We weren't able to connect with people. A lot of people, the spending had to stop. So you appreciated what you had, really. And then a lot of things you couldn't get, like toilet paper.
Yeah, that basic connection. I remember when I was at the airport one day traveling during COVID, where everyone had on a mask, and I'd missed my plane. And I'm really not like a big whiny victim baby, but for some reason I literally started crying. I was like, oh my God, I was standing there crying, and everyone had on a mask because I felt so alone, only because everyone had on a mask. And this guy came over and he sat down next to me and he took off his mask, and I would have married him. Like, I felt so, I'm joking, but it was like that connection. I was so relieved that someone actually noticed this emotion I was having. It was a connection. And it became very powerful. Like, we were friends now. And it was all because of that simple thing.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's so nice. And I think we really need that connection to survive. We need that to thrive. We need that. It's just, people have become so isolated that it's now like a crazy thought to go out and meet up with friends. It's like, I couldn't do that during the week. Like, it's raining. What are you talking about? You know, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I struggle a lot with pushing myself to get out of my own comfort zone, because I'll live and hide in my own creativity. But in truth, I need others, especially other creatives, to
Yes.
spark my next idea or my next podcast. Or how did it land? Did you like that? Did that resonate with you? You know, so it's like, you need that connection, you need that feedback. And so I don't know. I just think it's the most important thing in your life is finding love. And if it's going to take some work and effort, oh well, it's pretty important. That's how I feel about it.
I love that what you shared about that. And I'm imagining that sense of isolation that you're talking about, and how you said all of a sudden, like, just because it's raining, that becomes a reason why not to,
Right.
instead of, like, we somehow have to flip that in our own head and say, because it's raining, I'm going to go meet my friends. Like, why are we qualifying it like that? Instead of looking to the opportunity. And I think part of it is because it's like it's so hard to go out that first time, but when you get there and you start getting the feedback from your friends, you just feel so much better. Or
Right.
if you get to the gym and you're like, but you do feel better, even if it doesn't work out to be the best workout of your life, you
Yeah.
feel better because you just made the effort, and it changes your whole physiology, actually, your chemistry and everything.
Well, you know, when I go to the gym, I make a point to anyone who looks at me to smile back at them. And sometimes people are like shocked. They're almost like, you know, wow. And what happens? They smile right back.
Yeah.
I'll see angry women power walking on the street, and I'll be stopped at a stop sign, and I look over and I'll smile, and the same reaction. And so I think if you just pay attention to other people and just compliment them, ask them a secondary question like, why are you interested in photography? Why did you start that? What do you love to shoot? Like, are you that's a great tip for a date, is that make the questioning always about the other person.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, I think dating fatigue is difficult, but give yourself credit for the things that you do. And all you can do is get back up and try again and approach each day as a new day and a new opportunity. And that's really all you can do. And you can focus on the negative pieces, or you can focus on some of the laughs that you have with these strangers over text. Like that stuff. I mean, I wish I had my text threads from 2015. I mean,
Oh my goodness. As you're speaking, and I'm thinking of you as a photographer, and you're talking about, like, it's like the lens that you're seeing everything through. And then you keep using words like focus. So you can imagine that you are like a photographer, and what are you bringing to the table? Like, as you're talking, I'm thinking, it really is like this thing of light. Like, what are you shining your light on? What are you shining your focus on? What are you choosing to highlight? And
right,
that we actually have control over that. It's not the other person.
right. No, it's true. And so you can, if you use the gym analogy, you can focus on the improvement you're making, or you did these things and maybe they weren't great, but you're improving your strength, and you smiled at a couple of people, you took that time to either listen to a podcast or jump into a clubhouse room. Like, there's so you can look at it as it's painful, it's brutal, I'm not making any strides, Or you can look at it and see how many times you checked in at that month, and how many times you went that was extra than the month before. So I look at like the little wins, because I think if you focus on the negative all the time, then sure, you'll jump off the dating app. But then you're off the dating app and you're still miserable anyway. So what good is
Yeah,
that?
that's such a good point. The little wins along the way. And it's so much about perspective, right? So like you just said, you get off the dating app. So you're like fed up, you're tired of it, right? Shut that thing down, but you don't feel any better. And you're not getting those little connections. The other thing that I've noticed is that, like, I think I told you the other day, I've been going out to work, like placing myself in situations to meet people. And I mean, I naturally do that anyway. Like I talk to people when I'm out, but if I don't go out,
Yeah.
I start feeling horrible and I don't even know why. But then it's like, okay, I'm going to take the energy. I'm going to just get dressed and go work at a coffee shop or a restaurant or something. I always meet people,
Oh yeah.
always. And
Yeah.
then you start asking them questions and we do need that connection. So what I've noticed is like, then I've been asked out on some dates and I decided to say yes because somebody told me I should start saying yes. And like,
Yeah.
it was you. So when you say yes, then you learn something about yourself. Like if nothing else, you're going to learn something. You're going to become aware because you're getting information reflected back to you. It's like, oh, I've I didn't know that about myself. Like how interesting how I'm reacting to this person or what we have in common, or there's just always something to learn.
Always something to learn. And even if you learn that that outfit might not be your best friend, like that outfit did not work. Like you thought it was good, and you went into the bathroom and you're like, this is a nightmare. But like you try it.
You're so funny. Oh my God. Have you ever had an experience like that? Do you have a certain, I remember when of that, when that,
Baby costumes. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's important to feel good in what you're wearing. Now, what happens if you are not in a good place and don't feel, you really can't fake it, but you've got to do the very best you can, because sometimes you're not going to get that hair appointment. Sometimes you're not going to fit in that skinny jean. Like life is happening now, and we put so much emphasis on stupid things
mm,
that people really don't even look at or notice.
wow, that's really powerful.
I can put on two different pairs of glasses that are shaped totally different, but they're both black, and my boyfriend can't tell the difference between them. And that cracks me up.
Yes, it's so funny.
They're not as harsh.
No.
They don't look at things the way women do at
Mm.
all. It's amazing. I'm telling you, you can leave the date, they won't know if you ask them what you were wearing, they probably wouldn't remember. They remembered how you made them feel though.
Yes, they remember how you make them feel. This is why it goes back to business. Like it's all the same kind of, because it really is not about you. And if you go looking for what am I going to get, it's never going to be perfect enough or good enough.
No. And so
I guarantee you.
I know I'm a really laid back person. So I have food allergy. I am allergic to seafood, and I eat very plain. So if you try to take me to all these restaurants with all these courses and things I don't understand what they are, like it becomes Like I'm so grateful for anything. And so I never really had any expectations on a date. Like I'd be like, you want to go there? Great. And because I knew I had the allergies, I would look at the menu in advance and say, okay, this is what I'm going to eat. And so I always was just really grateful for the fact that someone came out to meet me. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But the people that it didn't work out with, most of them remained in my life as some type of Facebook friend or someone who cheers me on from afar. And that's nice. Like, I really appreciate that. So I do think people are good fundamentally. And I didn't have a lot of real negative experiences online. I mean, I definitely had my heart broken and I had relationships that didn't work out. And I got ghosted, and I tried not to ghost other people, but I had to tell people this was not going to be a second date situation. And it's not fun, but there are moments that are fun.
How
And
did you do
yeah.
that? Because your attitude is so great. I think we can learn so much just from the attitude that you're sharing. It's like, take it at face value for whatever it is and allow that to be valuable instead of having these expectations and then being so disappointed. Like you were just able to be present. But then I am curious about how you would tell people that there wouldn't be a second date without ghosting them. Because I think the reason the reason people ghost is because they think it's easier, right?
I would put the focus more on myself and say, I know that I'm a lot, and I'm definitely not your average person because I'm an art. Like, I definitely am in my own world, and I'm a creator, and a lot of things that I'm talking about people might not understand. And I always knew that about myself, and this is the one version of myself that I was given. So I had to make peace with that.
Oh my gosh, I love that you said that. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but everything you say, I want to say twice. This was how did you say that?
Wait, this is, when God was giving out whatever, this is the package for me. So, and I would say things like, it's not that I don't like you, it's just I don't know that our world would fit. Like, I don't know that. And I would blame it on how unique and odd or strange or eccentric I was. Does that make sense? Like, I really can't hurt people at all. And so I would always approach a date like it, and this is very true. I would always say, if there is a second date, which there usually isn't, meaning not because of you, just because of me, in a sense. If there is a second date, then plan on moving in with me the first month. And people would laugh, except for the person who ended up moving in with me in the first month.
Oh my goodness, that's so great. Okay.
So that's true. That is a true story.
I'm sure it is. Really? Did you say that to him?
Yes. And he laughed, and like nervous laugh.
I'm sure. Of course, it was a nervous laugh. Like, who is this woman, and does she really mean that? And how interesting at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I'll say to him, like, when you something that I'll come up with, or I'll do something, and then I'll say to him, did you expect me to do that, or did that take you by surprise that I would in this direction? And he'll say, do you realize that I knew exactly, like, the whole scope of the ABCs of you from day one?
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, like, he was like, I knew I knew it wouldn't be boring. And I think it takes like a special person
Yeah.
to be okay, to be like, you go, you be you, light it up, just don't put baby in a corner. Like he just always was like, you're gonna do it anyway. So I've been in relationships where people have held me back, and it's not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be. And you're supposed to be your true nature. You're supposed to be yourself. And if someone is squandering that and putting a lid on that, like it's just, that's definitely not freedom.
Okay, so that brings me back to another question about dating fatigue, or an insight that you just kind of helped me to arrive at. I think that if you're showing up on a date and you're not willing to be who you are, that is exhausting. If you just show up as who you are and you're okay with yourself, it's like, it's okay. I think a big part of it is like what you were saying about expectations. If you're really not comfortable in your own outfit or whatever, like why would you try that hard for someone you don't even know? Like I could see trying that hard for someone I really already loved or whatever, but a first date, you kind of want to just be who you are and have that be enough.
Yeah, I think that's where the fatigue comes, is because it's all this trying and effort. And
Yeah.
trying and effort works against you.
Yeah.
It really does. And so if you don't care,
Yeah,
and don't have any attachment to the outcome, then that other person is like, whoa, like I can't believe this person, is laughing at themselves because they spilled the drink. Or I mean, that's who I am. Like I'm going to be a day late and a dollar short. Like I'm going to get lost, and I'm going to not know where to put my bag, and I'm going to have lipstick on my teeth, and I'm going to.
all of those things are not true about you, by the way. I already know that because Carrie Brett doesn't show up late to a shoot, and if she has lipstick on her teeth, I doubt that.
Well,
she knows what's happening with the lighting.
maybe I'm not late because I planned extra time that I was going to get lost, but I'm just saying, the struggle is real for most people. Like that is the truth.
Yeah.
And life is really hard, and our lives are very complicated. And I think we're really hard on ourselves. And if we can just let it all go and have a little fun and be vulnerable, not like Brene Brown vulnerable, like be like
no oversharing, thank you.
yeah, like, it's not a TED Talk, like it's just
it's not a TED Talk.
A couple of drinks and a steak or a burger, and you get out of there. But
have you had those people like that tell you, how do you handle, now I'm going to ask you all the advice and then we can stop, but one thing leads to another. How do you handle these guys that want to tell you everything about their ex lives? Like X. Maybe it was just like their wife. Like by the time you're my age, most of these guys have been married and divorced at least once.
Yeah. Well, I'm very direct, and I'm not that, I'm nice, but I don't think I could have the patience to sit there and listen to 100 one-time a band camp stories. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't do it. So I would make a joke and say, if you don't keep talking about your ex, I'm gonna have to start charging you like your therapist. Like I would make a joke to make them aware that like we've come to a restaurant and fun has gone to die. Like I would definitely start jokes to make it fun.
Yeah.
But not in a hurtful way. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yeah, completely.
Because people don't know what to say. So that's when they don't know what to say and they're really insecure and they know they put their foot in their mouth, that's when it all starts to really unravel. And yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then that's when they say something stupid, and oftentimes it's something that hurts you.
Or hurts them.
Yeah. So I think having a lot of grace and a lot of forgiveness for yourself and just being like not so judgy on the first date is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Everyone's like breathing into a paper bag. Like everyone feels the same way. They do.
We're all just humans, right? So I like what you said about just valuing people.
Yeah. And you just don't know how they'll fit into your life. They may be the one. I always looked at it as they may be the one, or I'll learn something either about myself or about this other person. Either way, I didn't fail because I still came home with an experience where I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just that consistency and that one foot forward over and over again. And I use that dating fatigue as a superpower to like be pissed and to really get back in the shower and to get back out there.
I really like that. I think that is really valuable information.
And I don't think you need to rely on the dating apps. There are men everywhere. I know where they are right now. It's a Friday night. There's about 600 people at certain bars, all men, all clueless, all got a couple of drinks in them, no food at home, dying,
Food at home.
for someone to walk up to them.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Where's that?
Everywhere in Boston, financial district. I mean, I could make a whole list, but
yeah.
Every city's different, but sporting events, golf courses, find where men are and put a cute outfit on and pretend that someone stood you up and pull up a seat at the bar. I did it. I did it all the time. And it was a fun thing. I didn't like being alone. I just couldn't do it. It was better for me to go out on a bunch of random dates that I shouldn't have been there in the first place, but it was better than being home alone.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. Eventually, if you keep trying, you'll have success.
Yeah. I do think a lot of women get into just a rut of, I know I can do that when I'm working on a project, like right now, this writing project. And like you said, you get lost in your creative thing, right? I think it's easy to do that. But also, like if going to the gym is a problem, that's a great place to meet people, actually. Like you could take some kind of, I'm just imagining, I don't do these things, but I think it's a good idea that if you want to learn something, go do that. I mean, it's really just getting out there and like living life, right? And
my boyfriend told me that at my gym on Friday nights they have a pizza party. I'm like, am I gonna be that person that goes to the gym to eat pizza? I mean, maybe.
How does that make sense to have a pizza party at the gym?
No, but free pizza, somebody might be there. Like I'll do anything once. I really will. Like I'm not,
yeah, I will too.
I'm not opposed to the most craziest things, and I always feel like just, it entertains me to do things that are a little, outside the box, I would say.
Well, if anyone is watching this and feeling that kind of dating burnout, dating fatigue, should I try again? You can reach out to Carrie, or you can reach out to me and I'll connect them with you, because I know that these kind of conversations can be really inspiring, and you watch someone else, but how many of us are scrolling on Instagram, watching things like this and thinking, yeah, that's great. And then it goes by and we go on to our isolating habits, right? It's like we don't actually get off our butt and go do something about it.
Right.
So this is why, the same with the gym, like having a trainer or a coach or something. And that's what the coaching collective is all about, actually, is for people to be able to hear from people like you and then say, wow, maybe I could use that little extra push, or somebody that really understands my psychology to help me, because it's a journey, honestly, from the couch to the gym.
Right.
Right. And sometimes we just can't make that alone, because there's Friday night and there's Netflix and there's wine and there's whatever crap you're going to eat. But instead, you can have somebody help you get there. So the same thing is true with dating. Like, it's a journey to get back out there.
It's a journey, but I think, again, it's all how you frame it. Is it hard? Is it easy? I mean, I literally, and I think a lot of women are guilty of this. Like, I don't have an outfit, not having a good hair day. Think about that. But that
Totally.
stops people.
Totally.
Which is crazy. Because I had the worst outfit on when I met my boyfriend, and I was like, this isn't even really an outfit. And I still laugh about it, but it wasn't about the outfit.
Oh my God, that's so true. That just happened to me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think I told you that. I had a night like that. It was a Friday night, and I thought, I feel so crappy. I don't even want to go out of the house, but I hadn't eaten for like a day and a half and there was no food. So I thought, I'm just going to go to this taco place. And I put on like a long, like, beach skirt, like a black, like I would never even wear this at home.
Like, I purposely dressed as a homeless person.
Yeah. And like sandal, like flats, like I usually, anywhere I go, I look better than I did that night. And I had like on a camisole that I was literally going to sleep in that night. And I go out all the time and don't meet anyone. I go to the taco place, and then I thought, God, I'm just going to get a margarita to go because I'm alone. It's Friday night.
That's very sad.
It was so sad. And I go over to the bar to pay for it, and this guy had paid for it for me.
Nice.
And then I was like, he's like, you want, just talk for a minute. So I literally stood there and talked to him for like 20 minutes. Anyway, I wound up having like 4 margaritas, and I made a friend. Like, he was really just a great person. And what I learned was, I'm valuable even if I look like shit. And my hair was literally like in a ponytail. I don't even remember. I'd been working out or something early. I don't know, but no makeup, nothing. And you learn that you can interact with humans and you don't have to hide. Like, sometimes we need that. Sometimes I think all women, we have nights like that where you just like, I can't believe I'm sharing this, honestly, but everyone feels that way sometimes.
Yeah. I think all the exterior stuff, we put too much focus on it, and it really holds us back, and we miss our life. And
you miss your life.
Yeah.
How much better is it to interact with someone, share some stories, inspire them, and connect, than I would have been at home all night eating and then drinking and going to bed.
Right. So, yeah. So you're the real inspiration here, Michelle. You're the one that, you're doing it. You're going out. and you got 4 free margaritas out of it.
That's a lot of margaritas. Don't drink that much. There's my tip for the day. It's sober October right now, by the way, people.
That's great. I just think have a little fun and don't take it all so seriously. And if it didn't go well, there's always next weekend. There's always the next date, and there's the next opportunity. There's always a new opportunity.
Yeah, you have such a good mindset about it, and it worked for you. You didn't give up, and you found the love of your life, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very inspiring for all of us out there who want to believe.
Well, I think it was all worth it. My past and everything I went through brought me to where I am today, and I wouldn't change a thing. I
Wow.
really,
You wouldn't change a thing on the pathway there either.
no, because I have Shot at Love. I have my friend
Yeah.
too. Like I help people, and it's really rewarding. It really has become my life's purpose from a bad, from cracking Tinder, really.
Isn't that crazy? It's literally
Yeah.
your journey has made you who you are.
Yeah.
And you got what you wanted, and you got things that you didn't even know you could have.
Right. Or were in store for me.
Yes, that's a beautiful inspiration. I don't know why I forgot about that. I just think of you as like the girl who did everything. Yeah, you have an amazing history. Well,
I failed and struggled as well, like everybody else, but it's like anything. If you keep trying, you will have success.
yeah. Well, you are such an inspiration to
Oh,
every woman, really. All the things that you've been able to do with your business and now helping other people do that too. So it's incredible the perspective that you have on this, honestly. And that's why we're here. So anybody that needs help with any of these things, you can reach out to me or reach out to Carrie and continue that conversation. And we will be back hopefully live again next week.
yeah, definitely. I love it. It's fun. Thank you for doing this.
You making me feel a little guilty. I was going to stay home and drink and watch Netflix. Kidding.
We would be in trouble if we lived near each other.
Yeah, well, at least I would go out and do it. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to fly to Boston next week, and we'll hang out in the financial district, and we can both pretend that
You would love it here.
Yeah, well, I just love this time with you. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thank you, darling.